Are you absolutely certain this is the only ship we need to send? Commander Vazik's left eye stalk twitched nervously as he peered through the observation scope. This planet has over 7 billion inhabitants. Yes, Commander, Science Officer Looney bounced on her 3 lower appendages, barely containing her excitement. Our scans indicate the dominant species has no unified defense system, no space fleet, and they're still burning fossil fuels. Can you believe that? Fossil fuels. Security Chief Dorax grunted, his armored plates clicking as he checked his disintegration rifle for the 5th time in as many minutes. I don't like it. Too many variables. Too many teeth. Have you seen their predators? Everything on this planet has teeth. The 3 Zarnian scientists had been observing Earth for precisely 27 hours from their camouflaged position at the forest edge. Their mission was simple: gather preliminary data on the 3rd planet in this unremarkable solar system. Nobody expected it to be interesting. Look at this atmospheric composition. Looney waved her data pad frantically. It's practically toxic. And yet, so much life. Plants of every shape. Creatures with wings, with scales, with fur. It's magnificent. It's dangerous, corrected Dorax, adjusting his threat scanner. Anything could be hiding anywhere. Why did we land in this forest? Open terrain provides better defensive positioning. Vazik sighed. Because forests offer concealment, Dorax. We discussed this during the briefing. Wait. Looney suddenly whispered, her voice dropping an octave. Look there. A human approaching. All 3 aliens focused their observation devices on the solitary figure walking through the trees below. A male human, approximately 30 Earth years old, carrying a primitive medical kit and some food items. What's he doing out here alone? Vazik wondered aloud. Their settlement is 7 kilometers away. Oh. Oh my. Look where he's heading. Looney gasped, her color-shifting skin turning pale blue with alarm. Lying in a small clearing ahead was an enormous gray canine predator, blood matting its fur, one leg clearly broken. The creature's yellow eyes tracked the approaching human with primal intensity. That's a timber wolf. Looney consulted her database. Apex predator. Known to hunt in packs. Extremely dangerous. Well, at least our first observation of human-wildlife interaction will be educational, Vazik noted dryly. Tragic, but educational. Dorax raised his weapon. Should I intervene before the human gets devoured? No. Looney and Vazik shouted simultaneously. The human called Jack knelt beside the wounded predator, and to the alien's absolute shock, reached out a hand toward its massive jaws. Great galaxy, whispered Vazik. What is he doing? He's going to die. That predator will tear him apart. Dorax hissed, his weapon humming as he powered it to full capacity. I'm going to stun them both. No. Commander Vazik grabbed Dorax's arm. Prime directive. We observe only. They watched in horrified fascination as Jack slowly extended his hand toward the injured wolf. The massive predator growled, baring teeth that could crush bone with ease. I can't watch. Looney covered all 4 of her eyes with her upper appendages. But instead of attacking, the wolf sniffed the human's hand. Then, incredibly, it whimpered and laid its head back down. What just happened? Dorax's jaw plates clicked rapidly in confusion. Jack opened his medical kit and began cleaning the wolf's wounds with gentle, practiced movements. The predator occasionally winced but made no attempt to bite. Is he controlling its mind? Vazik whispered, antennae quivering. Looney frantically consulted her database. No documented telepathic abilities in humans. This defies all logic. For the next hour, They watched as Jack set the wolf's broken leg with makeshift splints, fed it water from his canteen, and even shared his food with the beast. Could humans be emitting pheromones that pacify other species? Vazik theorized. Or maybe they taste terrible, and predators know it, offered Dorax. Perhaps it's sick. Brain parasites affecting its judgment? Looney suggested. As evening approached, Jack began gathering branches and leaves, constructing a rudimentary shelter large enough for both himself and the wolf. He's staying with it? Overnight? Vazik couldn't believe his compound eyes. This changes everything we thought we knew about interspecies dynamics, Looney whispered reverently. That night, as Jack slept peacefully beside the recovering predator, the aliens transmitted their findings to their homeworld. The response was immediate: error in transmission. Please clarify, human deliberately approached apex predator without weapons? Affirmative, Vazik replied. And treated its injuries without being attacked? Affirmative. And is now sleeping beside it? Affirmative. A long pause followed. Stand by for emergency scientific council session. Continue observation. Do not approach humans. They may possess unknown biological manipulation capabilities. Dorax stared at the peaceful scene below. Do you think they're right? Could humans be dangerous? Vazik watched as the wolf protectively shifted closer to Jack in sleep. I think, he said slowly, we've drastically underestimated them. 3 weeks of observation, and I still can't believe what I'm seeing, Commander Vazik muttered, adjusting his recording device. Below, Jack moved silently through the forest, the once injured wolf padding alongside him. The animal's leg had healed remarkably well, and now the pair moved as a single unit through the underbrush. Look at that coordination. Looney whispered excitedly. The human signals with the smallest gesture, and the predator responds instantly. They watched as Jack pointed silently at a deer grazing ahead. The wolf, which they'd heard Jack call Timber, immediately circled wide while Jack readied a primitive bow. Hunting strategy, Dorax noted with reluctant admiration. The wolf drives, the human takes the shot. The hunt unfolded with practiced precision. Minutes later, Jack was field dressing the deer while Timber stood guard. Wait. Movement at 3 o'clock. Dorax hissed suddenly. A massive brown bear emerged from the trees, drawn by the scent of blood. Before the aliens could react, Timber leapt between Jack and the new threat, hackles raised, teeth bared. The predator is protecting him? Vazik couldn't hide his astonishment. It's not mind control, Looney realized, her skin flashing with excitement. It's partnership. They're working together by choice. Vazik made a decision. We need to understand this. Prepare for first contact. 20 minutes later, the 3 aliens cautiously approached Jack's camp. Timber noticed them first, growling warningly. Easy, boy, Jack said, looking up calmly at the 3 bizarre creatures. He seemed remarkably unfazed. Well, took you folks long enough to say hello. You knew we were watching? Vazik asked. Jack laughed. Hard to miss 3 glowing aliens in the bushes. You guys aren't exactly wilderness experts. Why aren't you afraid? Dorax demanded, suspicious. Jack scratched Timber's head. Guy who makes friends with wolves doesn't scare easy. How do you control this beast? Vazik asked. Control? Nah, we're buddies, Jack explained. Humans have been partnering with animals for thousands of years. We call it domestication, but it's really about mutual benefit. Timber here gets regular meals, medical care, and companionship. I get a hunting partner, protection, and friendship. Looney's translating device struggled with the concept. Friend. Ship? With a different species? Jack smiled. That's humanity's secret weapon. We don't conquer nature, we make friends with it. Vazik stared at them both, realizing his species had completely misunderstood Earth's most dangerous inhabitants. Immediate diplomatic protocols authorized, read the emergency transmission from the Zarnian homeworld. Approach with extreme caution. Do not provoke species with predator conversion abilities. Vazik sighed, tucking away his communication device. They're convinced humans have some biological superweapon. In a way, they do, Looney replied as they followed Jack down a forest trail toward his settlement. Jack had offered to introduce them to his community, a proposal that terrified Dorax but fascinated Vazik and Looney. The security chief kept his weapon ready, still expecting an ambush. Welcome to Pine Creek, Jack announced as they reached a small cluster of cabins. The aliens froze in horror. Everywhere they looked, humans were accompanied by animals. Children rode horses. Women walked alongside dogs. A man sat reading with a cat in his lap. A teenager bottle-fed a fawn. This is your army? Dorax asked nervously. Jack laughed. No, these are our companions. Some help with work, some provide protection, some are just here to give and receive love. Love? Looney's translator struggled with the concept. An elderly woman approached, a tiny puppy cradled in her arms. Jack said you folks might want to learn about our relationship with animals. This little one needs a home. Would you like to hold her? Before Vazik could protest, the woman placed the squirming ball of fur in his arms. The puppy immediately licked his face with a warm pink tongue. It's attacking. Dorax yelped. It's kissing you, the woman corrected gently. That means she likes you. 3 days later, the aliens prepared to depart. What have we learned? Vazik asked his team. Humans don't conquer, they connect, Looney said thoughtfully. Their empathy allows them to form bonds with species completely unlike themselves. And that makes them more dangerous than any weapon, Dorax added, watching children playing with puppies. Imagine if they approached our world the same way. Back on their homeworld, Vazik stood before the High Council. So humans represent no immediate threat, the Supreme Leader asked skeptically. No, but they represent an invaluable opportunity for alliance, Vazik replied. And the small furry creature you brought aboard your ship? Vazik's scales flushed purple with embarrassment. A research subject. For scientific study of human domestication techniques. On cue, the puppy, now wearing a custom-made space collar, poked her head out of Vazik's carrying pouch and yapped happily at the council. Research, the Supreme Leader repeated dryly. Of course.